Generic greetings and welcome to Prison Architect. Today's beverage is a lovely cup of tea. So it's been quite a while since we've designed and built a full facility in the game, so let's resolve that by designing and building a prison. We're going to go create a new prison and we need to set up all of the options. Now we're going to be following roughly the standard series format, which is planning in the first couple of episodes and then building sequentially from there on and getting prisoners around about the episode 5 to 7 mark. But I don't think we're going to plan off everything in one episode like we normally do. I think we'll do all of the admin stuff and then the rest of the prisoner stuff later on, because we're going to do something similar to what we did in the last series. In the last series, we had a sort of prison within prison type of arrangement, a type of affair, where it wasn't just the prisoner holding area that was set to a particular rating of prisoner, like low, medium, high risk, etc. So we didn't have the dormitories and the holding cells and the cell blocks set to a prisoner and the rest free for them to wander around. We had it so that the entire thing was set so that only one particular type of prisoner could go there. So that would be all of the support things like your kitchen, the canteen and the shower. You had the common room, the chapel, the infirmary, the visitation. All of that was set so that only one type of prisoner could go there, and that means it was basically a self-contained unit and the prisoners would never meet each other from one grade to the next, unless there was obviously a massive riot. So that was, a decent thing, and for the most part it worked, and we're going to follow the same sort of arrangement. So we need to go to a medium-sized map, fog a wall beyond as our forests. We're not going to have lakes or buildings. Fairly conditions will keep on as it will we have with gangs and events, so we're going to have it quite difficult here. Weather and temperature we're not going to put on because it's just a bit more of a hassle than fun. Staff needs, again, it's a bit jarring because not all of the staff have needs, so we're going to keep those two off. We will have escape plans on. So in terms of the prisoners' interactions and what they do, it's going to be pretty much the hardest that we can set, barring the mutators that are obviously not balanced. And they even say they're not balanced. There's no harm, no foul there, but we're not going to have that on. We are, however, going to go for a female prisoner set. So they have similar needs to the male counterparts, but the main difference in game is that they can be with child. So they can turn up with I think the kid has to be 2 years old or younger. So low risk prisoners, if they have a child with them, they have to be assigned a family cell and have to have access to a nursery. Obviously those prisoners that turn up have already been deemed fit and well and are not in any way, shape or form a threat to that child, so that's why it's only low risk prisoners. In my experience anyway, I don't believe that medium and high risk can have it. I'm pretty sure it's only low risk, so that means we'll have to make special arrangements for the low risk side of the building. So just a little bit of added challenge there, and because of the slight differences in their needs and such, then we should see different interactions and things, so it'll be quite interesting. In terms of the warden, we're going to go with, I believe, the pacifier. The pacifier's bonuses reduces the overall temperature of the prison, making our inmates less likely to cause trouble, and the reason we're doing that is because the only major problem in the previous series was if the very top prison, which was high risk, would kick off, it affects the entire prison because the heat level of the prison is global. It's a map-wide effect, so this should hopefully reduce that. It's not a problem, it's not a bug, it's just the way that the game calculates things. So you can see we have now loaded up onto our new map. We will go ahead and we will turn off our intake like so. We will make sure that the ratios are currently nothing. We will go to the CEO's letter and not read it, and then we need to go over to our objects and then dismantle object, and then we're going to remove all of these little happy trees. We're going to do a reverse Bob Ross and remove all of the trees because we're horrible deforestation people and we just want to make loads and loads of money regardless of the effect. So let's just get rid of all of that, and then once we've done that, obviously there'll be a couple of trees that I've missed, I'm sure, but it's going to take the workers quite a bit of time to crack on and do this anyway, so it's not really a big problem. There we go. We'll also go over to rooms and we'll put some exports in, and again it doesn't really matter where they go, but we'll just place it on the far right there, and you can see the workers are already cracking on with that. So planning walls, and let's just get the basic wall set put in. So we'll have wall in there and then a gap of 2 and then wall all the way around, so you can see we've got a gap to walk all the way around there. Now in the previous series we had sort of an arrangement of 1, 2, 3 and then the admin block here, and then this was just left open, and I think in the end we ended up putting a forestry area in there. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to go for 1, 2, 3, and then we'll expand to the left if we do expand at all. So that means that the admin block has to go down the bottom, and that means I'm going to rip all of this up, and then I'm going to measure 12 from that edge, 12 like so, and then put this thing in here. Now, is 12 big enough? I think it might be. If we're gonna assume that we'll have a row of say 4x4 offices there, then we do have a nice gap in the middle. So I think 12 is more than sufficient for our needs. So we will have our entranceway in the centre, and as always, this is not in any way, shape or form the final plan. This can be changed and probably will be changed as we progress on, but at least we have a start point and then we can go from there. So this is our entranceway, this is where we'll have our reception, and what we'll do is we'll have something like that. Obviously this is still the pathway that will come down there. We will have an entranceway into it there, probably just we'll probably put a double door there. We'll have a single door there, and that should be okay. We don't need to have this space here. It's just I like to have, if we're going to have doors either side, I like to have it like that. So this is our reception. There's the metal detectors in there, and then the prisoners come in, and then boom, we're doing our things around here. So what do we need? Well, I think we need security, and probably security closer to the entranceway possible. This is going to be the only planned way in or out. Obviously, there are probably multiple ways out if you are willing to climb or tunnel, but that's not something that we can do. That's only a prisoner thing. What we'll do is have a double walkway down here, and then this will be our security office, which is going to measure probably about 12. I think that is more than sufficient. We've got an internal diameter of, space rather, of 12 by 9, so that's fine. Which we can have technically 4 CCTVs over there, and then we'll have them lining down there. That should be perfectly fine. In terms of this one here, this is going to be our kennel area, which is only going to be a size of 10 for the internal one. That should be, again, acceptable. And then for the armory, it's going to be another 10. Actually, it'll be that size because it's internal of 10, and there we are. So that is good. We will have probably an entranceway like that, which is that right in the middle? It is right in the middle, which is all good. So we'll just have objects, and then door, and then door. Right, what next? Well, we need a staff room. Actually, do we need a staff room? That's the question. Because we're not running staff room. It does say the there. We're not going to have staff needs, but I don't know if that means we still need a staff room or not. My mind fails me at this point. I don't know whether or not we need a staff room. We're going to put one in, regardless. So we'll have it as size 8. That should be acceptable, like so. And then what we're going to have is the offices. So the offices will go along here. So we'll have 1, 2, 3 offices, size of 4x4. And then the other officers will go... Oh, actually, we need to have a bit of a gap there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, that means that we've got a bit of a different one here. So actually, that can be the warden's office, and it's slightly different. So that's fine. So we've got warden, accountant, lawyer, chief, psychologist, and... the other one that I can't remember, but they're all in. Now, technically, we don't need the psychologist here because the psychologist will be placed in the individual sort of self-contained cells areas, but we're going to have it anyway. So there's that all planned off for now. I'm thinking it's already a bit too large, and I should really scoot it over to the right, and maybe I'll do that now. Do I want to do it like that, or is it big enough? The kennel's probably a bit too big, considering that we'll have the kennels there, and we won't be able to fit any more in, sadly. Oh, no, we probably can. If we had the kennels like that, then like that, and then like that, that could be enough. Probably enough in there. Maybe armory can shrink down. Maybe armory and this can shrink down by a little bit. And maybe have this as like a 9. I think we'll just shrink it down a little bit, just by 2. And then 4. And 6. So that should be a 10. By 8. By 9, because I think I messed it up. No, it's by 8. That's fine. So we can get rid of that. And then this will be an 8. Actually, we'll make it a 6. I don't think it needs to be much bigger than that for the staff room. Because we don't have to have a staff canteen. I don't think we have to have a staff canteen at all, do we? I think we just need an area for them to rest. Because breaks are still in it, I believe. Breaks are still in it, but we can't see because we're in policy. But we don't need... we don't have the needs. If that's memory, if memory serves. We'll have it as an 8. We'll have it as an 8. Okay, so entrance, entrance, entrance. A little bit smaller, but it doesn't really matter. And then this is just a big gap that we'll get rid of. And then we'll, once again, go ahead and put in our officers in there. Like so. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so there's that. So they are 4x4. Yes, they are. So we got all of the officers in there. We then need to have a storage, which is not going to be that large. Again, probably going to be probably an 8. But I mean, it looks quite big anyway. 8, yep. And then we need power. So objects will be 5x5, 5x5, and 5x5 with the water pump there. And then that is technically all we need. Like that. Alright. So, that is our staff area. Now, obviously, they'll have entranceways in there. You know what? We might even just scoot that up by a little bit. We don't need it that large, you see. Something like that. I'll just double check to make sure that's correct. 5x5. Deceptively large, this map. Actually, I'll probably have a 5x5 there. Then that'll be the water pump. It just gives me a bit better access to the outside world. Okay, there we go. That's set up. So this area will probably be for protective custody, which I will design at some point. So, or should I do it now? It would be probably prudent of me to do it now. But what I'm going to do instead is work out the size of these cells. These individual areas, rather. So we need to measure it. It is 129, which we can divide into 3. Okay. But the question is, do we want them the same size? I don't know. We definitely want a gap of 2. Before the wall, you see. So, there. Like that. So that is a total size of 40, 40, and 42, and 41. 40, 40, 41. Okay. Probably a gap of 3 then. 39. 39. Or is it going to be this way? I think regardless of what I do, it's going to be a bit off. 40, 40, 41. One of them is going to be slightly different. Unless I just decide to skip a bit of it. I'm going to have a think about this one. Okay, we have managed to work it out. Each prison within the prison is going to be a size of 39 by 96. So we can pretty much say it's massive. Now, we could have made it so each one was 40 in terms of its size, but that would mean an inconsistent gap between these two, and it would look a bit out of place. And because these are now the same, the cloning is going to be quite easy. Not that we'll probably be doing a lot of cloning, although that really depends on how we design it. So that is going to be the rough shape of this, these three here, which is going to be low, medium, and then high risk. Now, we do need to obviously account for, as I said, the low risk having family cells. So the cells will probably be up and around here, with a central section for probably the yard area, although actually this area we're probably going to have the nursery in the centre, because as I said, it's going to be a bit different. It's not going to be a very high capacity at all. We're probably going to have equal measure of family cells to normal cells, but we'll see how we go. This one in the center is going to be fairly standard. This will be our model, so we'll probably design that first and then change it from the left to the right, and then the one on the far left will be the high risk, which obviously we'll have to account for more security and armed guards and things like that. But for the time being, what I want to do is design this, which is going to be our area for protective custody. So I'm actually going to speed up to max speed just so the workers will start removing more of these trees. Oh, by the way, we also need to get some grants. So I'm going to go for Basic Detention Centre and Administration Centre, and that's given us a nice amount of money. So we need 2 officers, a warden, finance, unlock through bureaucracy, and hire an accountant, which will go in and around there. So back to planning anyway. So this will be our entrance for the prisoners. We could probably only go with a size 1. It doesn't really matter. And then we'll probably have a little security area here, which I think can be a 4x4. I'm pretty sure security can be a 4x4. Let's just check on the rooms. It doesn't take long. Security is a 4x4, so that is fine. So that's our 4x4 security area there. And then the cells for the protective custody will basically just go along like so. And they will be also a 4x4, I think. It means we can have an entrance there, and then we can have showers and other things in there as well. So let's just build this along. So 1, 2... 3, 4, 5, 6. That's a bit too big. 6, 7, and then this back bit there. That's fine. We're going to do the same thing on this side. There is going to be actually, you know what I might do instead? Get rid of that back bit. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. 7 and then an 8. So there's our sort of rough idea. This is security. They'll come down, they'll come through here, and then boom, there's all of your cells there. So they are pretty much the same, just mirrored. And there we are. And gratuitous jump cut because someone was at the door collecting board games that I've sold, because I don't know of a person who hasn't got a board game, played it once, and then it becomes a shelf hog, just sitting there, taking up room, you're not going to play it again, yeah, just get rid. Anyway, I digress. So, this is our protective custody area, and this at the back was going to be a couple of things. It was going to be a sort of a bit of a chapel area, a bit of a common room type arrangement. However, in the previous build, and I didn't account for it here, is that we had because we had staff needs, the staff were fed via a canteen that could also feed the protective custody, and we don't have that here. So we're going to have to make sure we have a kitchen in this one, and what we're going to do, because that is just remove these, it's still going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 cells. So I don't think that's really unreasonable. In fact, if we really wanted to, we could get rid of that and have that as our kitchen, and then have sort of a little bit of a canteen off to the left bit. Actually, that would be not unreasonable to do that. We'll have a kitchen and canteen like that. There's your kitchen. It's quite a small one. There's your canteen. And there's maybe that, for example, for like, well, we could have 2 rooms if we wanted to. One is a workout area, and one could be a chapel or whatever. I'll probably just have it. I'll probably just leave it open. But that's the rough idea for that. This will change, I think, probably, but we'll see how we get on. And that is the rough idea for this facility. Obviously, we haven't yet planned off these. This is going to be a future us problem. We will have an entranceway probably right in the middle because we can. No, hang on. Wrong. There's the middle, I think. So it is 19 and 19. So there's the middle, and we could have a central corridor. We could do that. We could also have, if we wanted to, it go scoot around and to the left. Not too sure how we do that. Let me know what you think when it comes to building these 3 cell blocks. I say cell blocks, prisons within prisons, essentially. What do you think we should do? Do you think we have a central corridor with all of the rooms off to the left-hand side? Maybe a security area here. Just this is a rough plan. Security area there. Maybe corridor going up like such. Like that, maybe. Probably have it as a 3, actually. Something like that, perhaps. And then rooms off to either side, and then maybe it scoot around and have a fairly big gap in the centre. Not really a massive gap, but something like that, and that'll be our yard. And then as we go past here, we'll have showers. Canteen will have to go in somewhere. Probably that is the canteen. Then maybe a yard there, and then all of the cells up here. Let me know what sort of things you would like to see in that one, and maybe if there's any interesting changes or design ideas or whatnot. And yeah, we will crack on and go from the next episode. Hope you have enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you want to see or do, or any changes to implement, and we will go from there. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.